Vadilal has been, serving and delighting customers, the consumers, for over a century now. So, as you look back at the journey, what were the biggest transformations that it underwent in the past few years that has, driven growth and brand building? And how are you ensuring that Vadilal still remains, relevant for the coming generations, for the Gen Zs, basically?
Yeah, no, that's a good question to begin with. So because the brand Vadilal is, I call it 120 years young, right? And one of our promoter in one of our internal sessions said a very beautiful line that stayed with me, right? He said that, look, legacy is not a legacy if there is no continuity. And that kind of captures the transformational thing that Vadilal has been in this journey. Because let's face it, 120 years young brand, if you're not constantly reinventing yourself, if not if you're not staying true to its time, uh, it's the brand often fades. But here's one brand that has been there since 1907, still so much loved, so much talked about, and still going strong both from a brand and business perspective. I think that's a testimony of many things that the brand has done over the many decades. I think to name a few, Antra, I mean, we were the first OG ice cream brand in the country, right? We began the ice cream culture here. We were the first one to sort of set up a ice cream factory in India. We were the first one to launch a Casata ice cream range. We were the first one to sort of put an automated ice cream line in the country when even cold chain didn't used to exist, right? So the brand and the business has really kind of weathered the storm of not having a very significant cold chain, which is very critical to the experience that consumers get eventually when they have an ice cream. And there have been many firsts in this whole 120 years journey. The brand has also stayed relevant to its time even in the past, because when you look at a brand with such a so many number of years behind its back, uh, it had stayed relevant to the generation which it was appealing back then, which would have been the highest ice cream eating cohort. And I think that has now I think now we are in a state where Gen Z, of course, are the highest eating ice cream cohort in the country currently, and will continue for some time. So it's logical for us to sort of now start pivoting the brand to get a bit into Gen Z mindset. And I think all our efforts are in that direction. So while we continue to keep the legacy of Vadilal, which has been so rich, which has been such a rich and trustworthy legacy, and for we'll never sort of let go of that legacy and heritage and trust that our consumers have for one bit. But we will start pivoting the brand also, so that the younger generation sort of sees Vadilal also as a brand that they can consider and they can have. So that's the task we for me cut out as I steer the brand ahead.
I think, going with the Gen Z, the first campaign that I can see could be the Ice Cream Valley situationship. So with that, you launched two flavors, Cafe, Mocha, and Pista Kunafa. So I want to know what was the brief behind that direction? How did you come up with the, idea, and what was the objective behind it?
Yeah, sure. So I think fundamentally it first started with the product, right? We said that, look, if you want to sort of get Gen Z attention, you have to design a product that's befitting them, right? That's designed for them. And we went back into data, and we did a lot of secondary work, primary work, and essentially it pointed us to two things. I think overall the way Gen Zs are interacting with many of the categories today is more from an expression and more from an indulgence, specifically in ice cream, than as just as a functional need, which has like moved far beyond in this digital world, right? So the ice cream needs to look good when you're having it. It needs to taste right. It needs to be indulgent enough. It needs to be something that brings some novelty. And the research trend was showing us that more and more Gen Zs are sort of getting gravitated towards Middle Eastern desserts. You would have, I mean, the Dubai Kunafa had been viral for some time now, and it has seen its manifestation in chocolate forms and other forms for sure. And that got us thinking that, can there be an ice cream version of it? And that's how the data insight and the relevance sort of got us into designing a pista kunafa ice cream. And likewise for Mocha also, as you would know, like the cafe culture is up and coming in India, and it's a booming industry. I had my fair share of experience in the cafe industry before, so I kind of knew the flavors and the profiles that the younger generation is sort of going to. Right, the coffee has moved way beyond coffee. It's no longer just a caffeine cake, right? It's about the origins, it's about the cup profile, it's about the whole art and form of it. And that again, that insight sort of led us to a point that can there be a cafe first sort of a experience in an ice cream form, and that's where the cafe mocha comes in. So we really started from the product lens first to say that, look, we need to have product that sort of appeals to this generation. And then we went into fundamentally designing the other six P's around it, right? Which is the packaging, the proposition, the comms, as you call the ice cream valley situationship. Even in that, I wouldn't say it was our first attempt to Gen Z. Even with our thematic campaign, Zara Muskuraiye, Vadilal Khaiye, we do have a Gen Z interaction the way they do with the family, or just the way it happens, right? There's a beautiful lighter film that sort of brings that alive. But yeah, in the ice cream situationship, because the product was fundamentally designed for that generation, we said that, look, we need to just tap into the cultural code of Gen Z. And that's where we sort of said that, we take something which is very culturally relevant, which was the whole situationship angle that Gen Z is into, but we don't want to like take it in its form as it is. We said, oh, there can be a own Vadilal ice cream spin to it, and that's how we brought the campaign to life. So yeah, it was product, and before product, like there was data, there was research, there was product, and then we sort of went into this campaign piece.
Yeah, but how did you how was you so confident that these kind of globally inspired product will work in India? Was there any kind of a consumer research that was conducted before? And what has been the response as well? How have the consumers responded to the new category?
Yeah, so there was a very deep research before we sort of latched onto this concept. It was both secondary as well as primary. So Mintel, right, pointed us to a direction where they said that, look, when you look at the desert category, in the desert category, the generation is getting more and more gravitated towards the Middle Eastern flavors. uh, and ice cream competes with dessert, in certain occasions fairly and squarely, right? So that was a starting insight, and then we did our own primary work to sort of take the concepts to consumers, validate them, recycle them again. And then the consumers, the Gen Z, apparently told us that, yeah, if there's something like a kunafa ice cream in a stick, I would love to try it. Likewise, the whole Cafe Mocha bit, wherein they said that, look, coffee ice cream existed. It's not that coffee ice cream didn't exist, but a unique flavor of mocha, which is a rich combination of coffee and chocolate, and to give like a cafe experience in a stick is something that we were sort of vying for. So there was a lot of, I mean, it started with secondary research with a mental scan and other databases. Went into a primary with a concept check, concept recycling, the usual call con that you do. Once the concepts got validated, only then we sort of went on to the product brief, right? Coming to your second question, Andra, on the performance, I think it has been splendid. I think we are over, like, we were stocked out. So whatever we produced, we sold out. I think the love was high, and I think the testimony to it is I think the ratings that we get on Q-commerce, like both of these products are upwards of 4.2 rated, and we track it very very closely. We track how is the experience been at the consumer, because let's face it, right? We may design and we may design it till a certain point, but if that experience is not the same for the consumer, then all the bets are off. But we track it very very closely with our social listening, with one-to-one connects with consumers. QCOM has been a good source of insights in terms of is the product working, other repeats coming in, and so far it has been a humongous response to both of these formats. So I would say it's going great. Yeah.
So, coming to a different question about the refreshing of the identity of Vadilal. So it has refreshed with the identity of Zara Muskuraiye Vadilal Khaiye, I think last year. So with it, you have introduced a new brand platform, mascot, and of course a different identity. So what prompted this evolution, and what kind of consumer research did it lead? How did the consumer research lead you to this? How was the brand perceived before and after the identity change?
Yeah, that's a great question. Uh, so yeah, again, with a brand, and I call it 120 years young, right? The brand has to, at times reinvent itself and keep itself contemporary, while holding on to its legacy, right? I think a legacy is of consumer trust and heritage and expertise in the ice cream industry, and that is something that we have still hold on to. We always carry. No matter the campaign that we sort of bring out. I think what changed is, of course, a new mascot, and we call it Vaddy internally, is seen as this this cool dude who can like just it's like your friend when things go wrong. There's always this friend who puts a hand around your shoulder and says, yes, it's okay, I'll move on. And that's how we envision Vaddy, and that's how we envision Vadilal brand, because the primary insight that led to us is that, look, in life, up and down happens, something goes off. I think it's about it's about moving on. It's about taking a bit of an ice cream and moving on. So that's the insight. I mean, that was the insight about Zara Muskuraye Vadilal Khaiye. There was a series of 4 films in that where different audience roles are sort of stuck into different situations, and these are very everyday situation that can happen. So, for example, in one of the Gen Z lighter ad, the father and son are camping. The guy is like deep into his mobile, which is usually the behavior that one is into. And the father asks for a matchstick, and then this guy, just nonchalantly passes on the lighter, right? And then he's caught, saying that, okay, whose lighter is this, right? And such thing happens. We went doing consumer immersions around the country, and people that, yeah, I mean, these things happen. And I think that is where the brand enters, saying that, look, things happen. You can like have you can have an ice cream, smile, and move on, because that's all life is about. So that was a insight. The research part from the brand standpoint was that we need to sort of, like I said earlier, we need to start pivoting to the younger generation. But because we carry 120 years of history, it cannot be like a bit of an old man wearing new clothes. You need to be seen authentic. You need to be seen relevant, and all we need to do is to sort of do a cultural tap in rather than doing a hard sell to the Gen Z. So that was our guiding principle when we were journeying out Zara Muskuraye Vadilal Khaiye, and even Ice Cream Valley Situationship, right? And then when we sort of said that, look, that's the shift, that's the incrementality shift we want to do. The positioning in terms of the packaging, the comms, the whole paraphernalia around it needs to also be seen contemporary and modern. So that was the reason we brought in Vaddy as a mascot. That's the reason why the way you see the brand is not very different, I would say, but slightly different from what you've been seeing possibly in the past. And that was by design, right? So yeah, that thing led us to sort of where we are right now, and we'll continue to sort of traverse this journey to keep on incrementally pivoting the brand to the younger generation.
To know how does marketing with a mascot, how does it make a difference? So mostly we have seen a lot of legacy brands having mascots of their own. So how does it make a difference? Is it about the recall between consumers?
Yeah, I can answer for Vadilal, and why we sort of went to the mascot way. I think the starting point was that we definitely need to create an identity that would feel contemporary, modern, young. Now there were choices on the table. I think like one easy way is, of course, to have a celebrity endorsement who can do that for you. The other is mascot. The third could be the whole the brand idea itself. We specifically chose the mascot route because we said that, look, there is there is a bit of a sameness in the category, and we need to break that clutter through. uh, that time there wasn't a hard mascot that was there in any of the ice cream players. And we said that, look, we need to create an identity that one look at something would make it distinctly Vadilal. but young, contemporary, modern. And that's where the role of a mascot came into picture. That yeah, maybe a brand asset like a mascot can be ownable for longer generation, because celebrity change, celebrity has rub off as well. But a mascot is within your control, right? It's how you want to portray your brand to consumers, and likewise, what consumers feel, you can always pivot your mascot accordingly. So yes, mascot as a strategy has been a successful strategy in a lot of marketing playbook. It has also changed and evolved with time. So one example I keep giving is, like, how fantastically Duolingo mascot works right now, right? It's such a lovable mascot, and it's relevant in today's pop culture. And then we said that, look, while the strategy may be something which has been like been there done that, but if it's done in a refreshing manner, in a more meaningful manner, I think the operating word is that you need to design and operate your mascot in a very meaningful way that sort of gives back to your brand. That was the idea, to sort of bring this Vaddy mascot alive. uh, and this is the second year we are using him, and we have done some research on it, and I think there has been an overwhelming love for him, because he's that chill person, a bit of a goofy person who comes and helps you, uh, jolts you out of the oops moment that has happened, and then you move on. And the execution of it in all the consumer touch point, right? Not only just the campaign, but like it's there on my retail touch point, on my social media touch point, on every touch point of consumers, has brought this identity alive. And I think that's what's working for the brand, to sort of associate it with a mascot, wherein it creates a bit of a differentiation, bit of a ownable identity for Vadilal. And yeah, that was the thought process. That's where we are on it.
Okay, so because you just now spoke about it's been 2 years that you have been working with this refreshed identity. So tell us, how has the business improved? What kind of sales have you seen before and after this refreshed identity?
Well, I can talk of recent months, Hontra. So, as you know, we are a listed entity, right? And our Q4 results are just out, and I mean, it's one of the best numbers that we have done. So the JFM quarter was exceptionally good. We started also throttling the brand from there, because ice cream, while it's no longer seasonal as it used to be, but still it's thoda summer heavy. uh, and that's the reason why OND and Jan, at least till the temperatures are low in the country, uh, it's all about sort of tapping into more occasions, but the core ice cream sale is still thoda muted. But as soon as temperature open up, which is starting Feb March, we start throttling, and I think that gave us a lot of jump in terms of both the numbers, the penetration, even the offtakes, both from the QCOM platform as well as from GT. And that momentum is carried for this summer as well. So I mean, this quarter is still going, so I won't be able to share much number, but the business is like super positive. And as we release our Q1 numbers, it would be even more encouraging than the previous quarter was. So I would definitely say the overall ecosystem has worked. It's I wouldn't put it only to a certain brand campaign, but I think the whole flywheel has worked for us, which is the refreshed campaign identity, the packaging identity, the distribution lever that we have sort of throttled upon. Our supply chain has been integrated in a manner in which we sort of keep the product integrity well, right? So all of that, along with a good summer, good availability of the product, has also led to a fantastic business number. In terms of brand, we are also seeing the needle move on the brand health parameters. So, all my key parameters of Tom's, Pond numbers are up. What's heartening to see is the brand equity numbers are going up. And that means that we are sort of being meaningfully differentiated in the market, with the mascot identity, with the refreshed identity. And that to me is a litmus test that is your, is the marketing funnel or the marketing strategy working?
Got it. You have just mentioned that ice cream, though not a seasonal category right now, but it's summer heavy. So what kind of different innovations are you trying in terms of product renovation or formats, occasions, or communication to help Vadilal drive consumption throughout the year, rather than only being only more sales in the summer months?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for us, as you know, one of the leader brand in this category, it just means to sort of expand more occasions where consumers can have our ice cream. uh, and the whole thought process is on that front. So as we traverse the journey, even in the non-summer months, it's the thinking is, how do I expand the occasion, or how do I tap into the existing occasion that still is there from, let's say, July till December onwards. So just to give you some instances, as we are just coming out of the summer now, and generally typically for ice cream, then July August months are kind of seen lean, but we sort of are coming with a new licensed partnership with Parley. I don't know if you've seen that comms that just went out, not a comms, but the release went out last evening, where we have done a partnership with Parley to sort of create a melody ice cream. So it's a Vadilal melody ice cream, and it's just tapping into the current cultural conversation, or the or the conversation for the melody that's out there, right? The brand is in vogue, and we are tapping into that occasion to sort of say, hey, can there be a melody ice cream? And it's an official partnership with Parley, where we are launching a melody ice cream. As we traverse more, we'll get into the festive occasion, and again, that's a consumption point for me to sort of tap into it, because dessert consumption are high, and ice cream, of course, fairly and squarely competes with dessert. So how can I then get into a dessert-led occasion for consumers, where we give them certain elevated form of ice cream which fits well to that occasion? Then come November, December, it's a celebratory thing all over. I mean, all over the world, but also in India, and that is where a subsegment like cake, ice cream cake, does really well. And that is something, then we expand. We are trying to sort of expand our portfolio there, and come with some new news, new product innovations there, to again tap into that occasion. So one may think that, okay, November, December, wintry months, ice cream may not sell so much, but there is a subcategory of ice cream cake that does really well. And all of this has come from from our past experience, from insights, from the data coming from the q-commerce platform, which goes into our decision making on what product format would come when. So all I can say right now, Antra, is that melody ice cream is on its way, and there are going to be like multiple more innovations coming from Vadilal as we traverse the second half of the year. Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the core marketing questions. Basically, how would you say you divide the brand building and performance uh, and marketing for the brand? And with that, if you can help us with the divide with the traditional and digital divide, what is the brand more heavy on, and which is bringing the strongest impact for the brand today?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Slightly different approach on this one. So we internally don't see it as a brand building or a performance marketing. The way we see it is one connected journey. Be it on performance, be it on brand, be it on equity or overall campaign, and hence by extension, even for our media channel, it's one consumer journey that we sort of chart out, and then we sort of go after the media channel. So I think the days are gone when marketeers used to do, like, TV planning, TV first planning, and then a digital top up. Or there came a time where it was digital first planning and then CTV top up. But I think those days will evolve, and for Vadilal, it has evolved already. The way we see it is, it's one connected journey today. I mean, it's cliche, right, that the consumers are omni-channel today. But I think even more so, if I go deeper from a marketing science perspective, it's about charting your own consumer brand journey. How does a consumer, how does a ice cream purchase journey go? And that's pretty complicated in our category, because it's an impulse category. So the journey could start from anywhere and could end anywhere. But there are some guiding philosophies that are there, by which we have sort of charted a very clear consumer path. And the choice of channel and media channel come accordingly. So if there is a summer heavy consumption, and we all know that the category peaks post dinner time. So your 8 to 11 is the time when the category consumption is the highest. Even with something like an awareness medium of TV, we sort of get into heavy spotting in that during that time period. Uh, QCOM, of course, one can chart a whole journey how a consumer goes, right? Whether it's post meal treat, whether it's an evening snack treat, whether it's a post meal, post dinner consumption, and again, each consumption occasion has a different format and a flavor attached to it. So how do we go about the whole performance piece, not just from the from the classical search visibility standpoint, but also from showcasing the product in the manner in which it would appeal during that consumption occasion at that point of the day, is something that we sort of chart out, and that's how we go about the whole performance piece. I think overall, to sum it up, we see is that the way we see it is one integrated marketing communication medium. Uh, we don't break it into a brand building and a performance piece. The way we say is that all of these touch points eventually help add up to either a awareness or a consideration or a bottom line funnel conversion when you talk categorically from QCOM. But even in there, we sort of attribute that how much of the TV medium or a print medium has led a consumer to come to a certain platform and got the conversion happen on that platform, is something that we can now track in a very meaningful way. So we track all these indices, and that's what shapes our choice of our media channels.
Looking back at the last year, what would you say were some of the biggest milestones for Vadilal? And with that, as you enter the next phase, what are your key goals and aims, and how do you see marketing and communication helping with it?
Yeah, so I think in terms of what has worked in the past few months, I think first and foremost, I think the brand love has definitely increased for Vadilal, and I think that's at the back of the entire ecosystem around marketing and product availability that's working. And the numbers are a justification of the same, right? uh, I think this particular season, we had innovation or new product innovation, new product entry as one of the key pillar. So just to give you a number, we sort of we have launched close to 12 new product innovations this year. Some were limited time offerings, some are a bit of a continued platform. Some were designed for GT channel alone, some were designed for QCOM channel alone, and all of them cumulatively has contributed significantly to the overall top line number for Vadilal, and that's like a big win. The third, I think the more transformational win is on the kind of scale we have done in terms of deploying deep freezers and increasing our distribution footprint, and that has certainly given a business a flip. Yeah, so I would call this three as the reason why we are where we are right now, and we are coming out of a great summer. In terms of going ahead, I think it's the same thing. I'm at the risk of repeating myself, but as we go ahead, I think it's about maintaining the legacy while still keeping the brand relevant to the younger cohort, and that will be our guiding principle. As we continuously traverse this path and carry this legacy of 120 years to to another 100 years maybe. So that's the overarching principle with which we are working here.
Okay, great. So I'm done with my questions. Anything else you would like to share or highlight?
No, I think I had a splendid chat. I think you covered all the parts of it. The business, the brand, the consumer, the insights, the tough questions. So I really enjoyed our discussion. Thank you so much, Andra.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi, for your time.